Hello, for those that don't know me, my name is Question Kayla, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor, aka a therapist, and I'm just here to bring mental health awareness to the community because often I know it's hard to have accessibility towards mental health resources. So with that being said, recently on Instagram, I did a series called 10 Days of Recognizing Shame, figuring out what to do with that. And I wanted to bring that to YouTube so that way you all can have access to it as well. And so you can do each day individually, you can spread them out, but all the tools are here for you to start beginning to recognize shame and know what to do with it. I still highly recommend that you have a mental health counselor for yourself or some kind of person that can help you through this process. I hope these are some steps that can open you up. And from there, I hope you enjoy. Well, here I am again. I haven't done anything like this since the 20 days of connecting with your inner child. And honestly, that junk blew up. I'm still kind of dealing with some things from that and having opportunities from that, which I think is awesome. And I love the way that you all loved it. So enough for me to want to come back and bring you something different. And so this time, in this December, I'm focusing on 10 days of recognizing shame. And the reason I would do this is because in a lot of my work as a therapist, so many people deal with shame. And I want to figure out ways to kind of give more resources to know, what do I do with that? So when we think about shame, we got to define it. It is the idea that I'm bad, I'm wrong for my actions. Something inherently is wrong with me as a person. And so this is a core belief about you. This is something feeling like you're defective. And it's a deep sense of feeling that you don't belong. And often I see this with many people that come to therapy, truthfully, but I see this so much with my people within the LGBTQ plus community because the world has told you so many messages about you that are inaccurate, that you've internalized. So for the first day of recognizing shame, I want you all to list some messages that you have received that has activated shame for you. These can be direct messages, or these can just be messages, honestly, throughout life that you've noticed. Go forth and do. Welcome to day 2 of 10 days of recognizing shame. For this day, I want you to really reflect a little bit more on the things that you hear shame saying to you. What are the words that it's using? Where did you learn those words? Whose voice is actually speaking those words to you? And how does that make you feel when you hear those words? Thank you so far for participating, because shame can be something really hard to talk about. And so far, we've done 2 days of really trying to recognize shame and how it becomes activated. And what happens with shame is it can lead to you really starting to feel like you have to hide, have some self-protection. You might even be a little more reactive or feel like really enmeshed in others because you have these negative core beliefs. So on day 3 of recognizing shame, I want you to reflect or list some ways that you respond when your shame starts to become activated. So when I started my shame journey, this was one book that really was awesome that I loved. It's called The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. And she really unpacks what shame is. And one thing she talks about is what we call shame resilience, which is what I hope you all will gather from this. And it's the idea that I can feel my shame and acknowledge it, but not allow it to overcome me and determine what my worth is. And a big piece of helping you overcome shame is knowing that you have people where you can share your story and own that story without feeling hurt or feeling embarrassed by that. So for this day, the 4th day, I would like you to write a list of people that you feel are safe enough for you to share your shame story with, that respect you, that care and love for you. Welcome to day 5 of recognizing shame. We are halfway through. I appreciate the support thus far. For this day, I want you to continue with acknowledging and owning that story, right? Your shame narrative, whatever that is. And I want you to write about it, right? I want you to write about a time that you experienced shame. What was it like? What was that like for you? What was happening? What did you believe about yourself at that time? And then once you're done with that, I want you to actually take a break to do something to cope, right? Once you allow yourself to feel that. So welcome to day 6 of recognizing shame. Okay, so what you would have done on day 5 is to write a story about shameful experience within your life that you carry shame. Now today, I want you to go back to that story, and I want you to write to that story from a place of love and care. What do you want yourself to know? What do you want yourself to experience or feel if you're writing from a place of love? And I want you in that same breath to offer compassion and comfort to the you that experienced that shameful experience. Welcome to day 7 of recognizing shame. And so at this point in time, you should have acknowledged that it's there, some experiences you've had, written about it, talked about it. And now we want to help your shame out, okay? So one thing I want you to do is to write about a time or reflect on a time when maybe you felt courageous, right? You felt like you were able to do some things that were really difficult for you at that time. And list them all out, right? Create that list so you can okay, we are almost done. So day 8, welcome to it, of recognizing shame. And what I want you to do today is we want to give some more attention back to some of those thoughts that your shame is telling you. I want you to list them out so you can see them, see exactly the things that your shame is telling you about yourself. And then I want you to replace them with things that are more helpful for you, right? So if your shame is saying that you're a bad person, maybe you want to replace that with, I can learn from my mistakes. I have worth about myself. And I want you to start practicing that every single time shame starts to say something. You just get in the habit of replacing it with something that feels a little bit better for you. And try that 5 times in a day. See if you're able to do that. Welcome to day 9 of recognizing shame. We have one more day left. And so at this point in time, you should have been aware of the shame language that you're using with yourself, aware of maybe where that came from, been able to identify some people that are safe for you to talk to about these experiences, maybe had an experience you're able to write about, and then give yourself some love, and then listen to the language that you use and start to replace that. So on day 9, what I want you to do is really emphasize self-kindness, right? Because shame is literally taking away the kindness from yourself. And so what I want you to do is I want you to do something kind for yourself. A random act of kindness that you might do for someone else. Maybe do something sweet for yourself. Take yourself out. Give yourself something nice. Speak kindly. Give yourself a hug. Whatever that is. I want you to practice some self-kindness and see if you can do that every single day. But for sure, try that today. So I hope that you all enjoyed or benefited from me just offering some 10 days of recognizing shame, right? Because this present, it happens for a lot of us. And so with that being said, I'm going to open up this last day to see if you have any questions. I am not planning to share these on my story and all of that, so it'll be really personal to reach out to me to see like what kind of questions you have about shame and like recognizing and what do you do. Again, I'm always going to encourage you to have a therapist or a accountability person, life coach, whatever that is for you to help you process through that. But these are just some tools that you can do in the midst of you seeking that space for yourself. Again, thank you for participating. Drop your questions and we just go from here.